All right. Oh, shoot. We are recording. Okay. Well, let me sit down here. Oh, dang. Sorry, guys. Well, Professor Burchett, you asked for a video. You're getting a video. You're also getting great quality because I know how to do this. Today with me, I have my pawpaw and my nana. You guys can introduce yourselves formally.
Napoleon Biles.
Rebecca Biles.
As you can see, they're married, same last name. So, pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. My pawpaw here, great football player when he was back in the day. You know what I mean? He came up. And when he was playing football, segregation was a big thing, especially when he had got older. What I want to say is being black and being of minority is a very important thing to me. I find it interesting how I can be the way I am and still be minority. I like to present myself in a professional manner for the most part. Sometimes I'm playful, but when it comes to this, I like to present myself in a professional manner and show that I can be educated and show that I can have a great vocabulary and things of that nature. So, Nana and Pawpaw, you're gonna hear me call them that throughout the whole segment. That's all I call them. So, just tell me about your guys' backgrounds when you was a child.
As far as racism?
Just
concerned?
anything.
Well, one thing that really impressed me and was on my heart and my mind was in 1967, I left Springfield, went to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, and we played in the first HBC game with Grambling University in Yankee Stadium in New York. And we had limousine service, plush carpeting, hotel rooms. It was real top flight. Next, we played in Yankee Stadium and about 64,000 people in stands. The next week, we went to Richmond, Virginia, and had to go in the back door of the Holiday Inn.
Well,
That's going right across the Mason-Dixon line into Richmond, Virginia. And that's where I first saw the black and white toilet signs, blacks enter in the back, that kind of thing. And I'd read about that, I heard about that, but to see it firsthand made a big difference to me, a big impact on my life. So that's one thing that really stuck out in my heart and my mind, that period, 1967.
okay. Nana?
Well, mine was 1975 when I had my first job, and I was at a daycare center. And I was the only African American there. And one of the little girls, around 4 years old, asked me, could she see my tail? I had no idea. I saw your reaction.
What?
You've never heard this either. But I am an adult at this age, 2 children, married, and I was taken aback. I didn't even know how to answer her. It took me a minute. And I was like, Precious, what are you talking about, my tail? I said, I don't have a ponytail, and pointed to my hair. And she says, no, all you black people have tails on your butts like your monkeys.
Wow.
And I started to stutter, and I backed off away from her. And I was like, in the name of Jesus. And I said it out loud, and the director got a little upset that I was bringing Jesus in the mix. But I explained what she said. And so the director said, why would you say that to Mrs. Biles? She says, well, my mom says all of them have tails, just like...
Wow.
This was 75?
Let's go back to 72. First, I bought our first home on South Center Boulevard.
This was here in Springfield?
In Springfield, going across, just on the side of John Street. And we moved in there, and we had people cutting our screen doors. And I was working nights, and they burned a cross in the front yard. And I came home with a shotgun one day on my shoulder and let people know that, hey, I mean business.
Yeah.
You know, and but like I said, to experience the cross burning in your yard, and this was in 1971,
Missy was
72, yeah,
Yeah.
71, 72. We bought the house
72.
in 71.
By the way, if you hear Missy throughout this video, that's my stepmom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, and also, as we were moving into that house, the little girl was riding her bicycle down the street, and she got hysterical, dropped her bike, went running and screaming to her home, and was just screaming and screaming. And the mother was like, "What is wrong?" And she says, "There's niggers out here, mommy." There's, and I'm
insane.
going, "Where?" I was like, she did not say that. I did. And my little white friend that we've been besties for years, she just started crying. I mean, she was just totally humiliated, apologizing for the child's ignorance. And I said, well, that comes from the adults. She got them from the parent, yeah.
So, as children, I'm sure since y'all were adults, it was prominent while you guys were children also. So as children, being in school, how did that affect you guys, like mentally growing up?
Oh, I went to
Oh, snap.
I went to Northridge Elementary
damn.
School.
Yes,
The
Oh.
first black in that school district.
yeah, he and his sister.
You were the
19
first black ever.
In that school
In that
district
street
in 19 God, I was in 7th grade. I don't remember what year it was, but I was in 7th grade, the only black, me and my sister. And of course, you know, we had to ride the bus to school, living on a farm. Of course, we had a lot of racism on the bus and taunting and what have you. But the thing was, when we got to our teachers, they acted the same way. Of course, you know, all white.
Yep. So you were basically getting like, you know, tormented throughout the whole school year and things of that nature.
1 year. I left there in my 8th grade year and came to Springfield. Came back to Springfield.
Okay. Nana?
I was truly blessed. Because the schools I went to were black neighborhood schools. All our neighborhoods were black or Indian. So we had that camaraderie. I didn't have that problem
It
until.
was a shock for me because I went from Fulton. I grew up in Fulton district.
Damn.
All right, and up until the 6th grade, and then my mom married my dad, my stepdad, and then they moved to the county. So you go from Fulton to an all white district.
And nowadays, Northridge is still pretty much the same way,
Yeah.
which, you know, pains me to say.
Yeah.
But that's just the reality of the situation.
It's called life.
Okay, so teenage years, oh snap. But teenage years though, I know as teenagers, everybody wants to, you know, go out, have fun, do things. When y'all guys went out and, like, for instance, say went to the movies or just went to have some fun with friends,
Oh, well, yeah.
how bad was the
Conditions in the time?
the conditions, like I'm really interested, like movie theaters, did they have like segregated seats?
Oh, yes.
We had the Region and the State and the Majestic
Majestic.
in Springfield.
What does Majestic mean?
It was
Oh, that's the movie
name of
theater.
movie theater, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's where the blacks was able to go to,
Yeah.
with no
Okay.
problem.
Freely.
But to go to State and the theater, State and the Regent,
Mm-hmm.
it had to be special occasion that you were able to go to that.
Special occasion.
And where did you sit?
And then we sat in the balcony.
The balcony?
Yeah.
Holy,
So,
that's insane.
yeah.
So, I
Of course,
know.
Majestic no longer exists.
Majestic,
but
yeah.
That's what we had in the 60s.
Okay. So so moving on to your adulthood a little bit. When you played football, I know you had white teammates, right? Right? Or no?
We had two.
Two white teammates.
In college, you're talking about?
In college.
In college, yeah, just two.
Okay, just two. Okay, then never mind. I thought you
We
had.
went to HBC school.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
Morgan
about that.
State.
Yeah, you did say you went to HBCU. Okay, so when it came to like those two white teammates, matter of fact, those two white teammates, did they treat y'all differently than most of the other, you know,
They
whites
did because I befriended them. Because I knew where they were. We flip flop. Because back in the 60s, I remember what happened in the 7th grade. What happened to me, being the only black, I understood what they were going through, being the only white. So we befriended. We became roommates for a year.
Okay.
One
Roommates?
game, in college, Joe Alex. He played lacrosse, but he got a scholarship to play football, and we became friends. Just in his wedding,
Okay.
in my sophomore year, and but we lost track of each other back in the late '80s.
Okay. Well, Nana's making her appearance back. But sorry, allergies. As blacks back then, which it was 60s, 70s.
Late '60s.
Late
Black wasn't
60s.
beautiful then. It just became beautiful. James Brown came up with a song, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud," because blacks were in a process here, trying to be white, trying to look like the white man.
Yeah.
And then James Brown came out and "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud," and how you gonna get respect when you haven't cut your process yet? And that's when the changeover. And then Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis.
X.
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X was militant.
He was militant,
and,
but he was true. He was right.
Yeah. And it was kind of hard because we had a group of people saying, turn the other cheek, which was Martin Luther King and his movement. And then you had the Black Panther, Huey P. Newton, saying, pick up a gun.
Damn.
So we had that struggle between, what are you going to do?
Like a little bit of a back and forth, you think?
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, because we had friends that say, I'm gonna be like Huey P. Newton and Angela Davis, radical and pick up a gun. White man do anything to me, I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
And Martin Luther King saying, peace, turn the other cheek, we shall overcome. And, it was you had to make a choice.
So since we're on that subject, were y'all more on the side of Martin Luther King, you think?
Me,
Yes.
personally,
The way Nana looked, I knew she was opposite.
I was more inclined to be like, and I was brought up in a Christian environment, so I was more inclined to be like the movement of the Huey P. Newton, and I was radical.
Okay.
We had a track meet in Baltimore. No, another side of D.C. when I was in Baltimore, and we came back and we couldn't get through D.C. because of the rioting and the fires and what have you. So we had to take the Beltway all the way around the D.C. to get back to Baltimore. And I was ready to jump in the car and go loot,
Oh snap.
tear up.
Yeah.
And
Go loot.
one of my coaches talked to me before I got in the car with some other guys, and then I thought, that ain't what God wants me to do. And so that was because I had a Christian environment and Christian background.
Okay, Nana.
Well, I'm a baby of 8. Let's put that out there first.
Okay.
And my dad was in politics, believe it or not. And he was one of the first civil servants here in Springfield. Right now they call them city commissioners.
Okay.
Okay, but he taught us growing up. We had the books, and he taught us growing up how to act. And I think the only militant thing I really did, honestly, was they were burning their bras down there at Central State. We had to march into Xenia and burn our bras.
Burn your bras.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. That's what the women's did because the men were doing their thing. So I had to go buy one. Yeah. Because you understand the undermine there. That's the only militant thing I really ever did.
Okay. So
Had you heard about the walkout at Springfield High?
I did.
South High School?
I did.
Roger,
I did.
one of our football teammates got killed in a fight.
Dang.
Ralph
Did they tell you
Stinnett.
why we walked out?
No.
They didn't tell you why we...
Oh, really? Well, his cousin was fighting with a white kid behind South, right there at the back door, South. And his friend jumped in on it, and Ralph jumped in on it, and the guy stabbed him.
Oh,
Killed him
Yes.
right on the spot. And they didn't do anything to the kid until we walked out.
dang.
And we walked out. That made major news. Jet magazine came in.
Jet magazine?
Jet magazine came in. The minister at St. John, Pastor Cobb, associate pastor, his brother squelched the riot. Because we were at Bangar's there. Bangar's was a store there at Center and Clark Street. There's a store. There's an empty lot there now. But we all congregated right there and went to the Y, and we was ready to go tear it, but he squelched the riot.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I know from what you guys are telling me, it's pretty hard. It was pretty hard growing up like that. When it came to like your parents, what was the biggest thing they did to keep y'all level headed throughout that whole process of you guys growing up and just being able to take all the cruel things that was said and done to you?
Church.
Church.
We were in so many activities at church. It was kind of really hard to go and be over here and cut up because we were busy at church. And by the time we got out, the crap was over with. We learned right from wrong at a very early age. And good parenting, very good parenting. His mom was astronomical. I just fell in love with her when I first met her. And her and my parents worked together in church, two different churches, CME and Baptist, but they were superintendents of Sunday school, taught Sunday school class, great leaders. I had Girl Scouts also, so that was a big plus.
Okay, so just a bunch of activities that just kept you,
Busy.
yeah, busy and out of the mix, basically.
Yeah, idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's the same thing with the Christian background. But the biggest thing in my life, because my stepdad, was never in my life, especially on the athletic field. I played 3 sports and all through school, football, basketball, and track. I lettered in all 3 sports each year. I went to the state twice for track. We was third in the state in football, and my stepdad never saw a game.
Never saw a single game.
Never saw a single game.
Dang.
He kept telling me it was you need to get a job. You're not going to do anything with sports. You need to get a job. Until I got my scholarship, then I became his son.
Wow.
See, that's what I love about your dad and his support for you. He won't miss a game, and I relish that. I would have had somebody in the stands to say, hey, you did good or you did bad. Somebody to talk to. And I get home, it's like, ain't no dinner left because you ain't here.
Yeah.
We didn't say you nothing. That's what I got
Dang.
on that end. But then I had my Christian background. I had the usher at church, Mr. Bascom, never forget him. He would go to my games. He would tell me about how I did and how I didn't do and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's the only support I had.
Dang.
As far as, and my mom worked, so she could make games or not.
She had the
But,
food on the table.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
That's deep.
So it's the sports.
Definitely deep.
It really,
Yeah.
sports kept me level-headed, kept me eligible. Because I had to keep the grades up,
Grades up.
and that got my scholarship. But my stepdad wow, I hated him for that. But I understood he came from a background that. They didn't experience that, so they didn't know anything about that. So
He was treated the same way. He was treated that way. He started working at a very young age, and his work was hard. He was in construction, concrete type construction. So, yeah, we become our background, our upbringing.
So, like you said, you become your background, your upbringing. I noticed that y'all as a couple, ever since I first met you, I know I was young, but when my dad got with Miss Melissa, yes, I noticed that y'all had a bond, and I feel like you know, y'all's backgrounds kind of help that also. Now, obviously, I don't know everything about y'all's relationship, but I just feel like when it comes to hardships and things like that, I feel like hardships bring people together. And y'all went through probably one of the hardest hardships in history when it comes to
Generation, period.
exactly.
Yeah.
Time period.
I've just I admire that for both of y'all, and I'm proud to call both of y'all my nana. My nana and papa.
Okay.
So
We love you, kid.
yes, yes.
We're glad. We
Somebody
are
asked me
just-
today on the bus. I was driving the bus and asked, "How many grandkids you got?" And I said 7. I said, "No, I got 9."
Dang,
So I added you to and your brother in. You know,
Dang.
I had that. I admire your dad. I was crazy about it because he accepted my daughter, who went through hell of relationships. You know, and he put all that behind. You know, and she's happy. If she's happy, I'm happy.
You can see it.
I'm glad they're both happy. It makes me happy to see it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. And Grandma Emma. Every time we see her, we just love her, and she just hugs. We're gonna have a cookout. We are family, and y'all going. And then she came over here at Christmas, and that first Christmas she came and stayed, enjoyed. You know how we party.
Yeah.
You know how we do the things. And she just had tears in her eyes, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" She says, "I'm just so happy right now." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
For my last question, so if I was today, the person I am, and I was placed into the late 60s, early 70s, what would be y'all's advice to me to make it through that time period?
Stay strong. Stay strong in your faith. You know, you're going to have people that's going to do the fight. I tried to have an afro one time, and it was so funny.
The Avro?
I tried to have afro hair, and I ended up buying a wig. But still, just be you. Make your own decisions. Don't let nobody lead you down the wrong path. If you're going to screw up, mess up on your own, and then you can say, "Whoops, let me fix this." Yeah, you can. Oh, don't let anybody influence you on that.
I don't know, Obi. I don't know if you could handle that back in the '60s. Seriously, because there's so many different generations between then and now. The things you have come to. You're with a young lady who looks almost white.
Yeah.
Okay, that was taboo
Yeah.
back in the '60s. You know, you didn't step outside your race. You know, if you did, then you had your brothers that was kicking your head, and you had the white man and the white woman saying, "Hey, that you're not supposed to do that."
Yeah.
And she's black,
Yeah.
but she looks almost white, and that's something that the man didn't want, and so that's why I said it'd be hard for you.
Yeah.
You know.
His
To get
personality.
over that, you know, your personality, you probably can handle it, but the thing is, it'd be a struggle for you. It'd be a struggle, and the thing with you can go places now that we couldn't go, didn't even think about going. You know, I walked to Dayton once. Me and 2 other black kids walked
You
to Dayton.
walked to Dayton from here?
Yeah.
John
Wow.
F. Kennedy.
That
John
is
Kennedy
insane.
said every American male ought to be able to walk 25 miles physically for fitness. And we did. We jumped up and walked from here. My neighbor, we were friends, and his grandmother lived on next to Roosevelt High School on 3rd Street. And we walked from here to Dayton, and we got to Enid, knowing it was a precious community. And we got picked up by the highway patrol, by the police,
Yeah,
local police.
picked up, okay.
And I asked him what we were doing. I said, well, we were walking to Dayton. You know, he said, well, he took us to the outskirts of town. He said, don't come back this way.
Wow. And then dropped y'all off right there. You had to walk
Dropped
back to
us off.
Springfield?
No, we walked,
Went on to
continued on to Dayton.
Oh, okay. Still on business.
And when we came back, we didn't go through Enid. We went through Enid, but we went to all the cornfields and out in the community.
Okay, so you found a different way.
Yeah.
Nana, what would be your advice?
To be scared. I try not to give advice.
Oh, wait, you already gave it to me.
I did, but I just said, be you.
Wow.
You be you, baby.
I forgot.
You're off to a good start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad of that. Proud
Thank
of
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
You and I'm gonna go ahead and bring it.
Mace. Well, Professor Burchett, I'm at 24:52. I know it's supposed to be 25. I'm sorry,
Yes.
but 2 seconds, and I'm at 25 minutes.
All right.
I appreciate you for watching. I thank you for actually devoting your time and letting me express myself in this way. I like to talk about my heritage and what I come from, and it's very important to me because knowing where you came from, I feel like you can tap into a different side of yourself and just be content with what you have as a person. So I thank you for this opportunity, and yeah, hopefully I get an A.
Hey, hey.
Yes.